Hello, welcome back to Hollow Tree Horror Stories. In this video we're going to be finishing up our forest by coloring in our trees and actually creating the forest. In the last video we created this little measuring tool that helped us find the height of the trees in the forest, and we're going to be using it again to help us place the trees in the correct perspective. So the first thing we want to do is create a couple of horizontal lines that will help us place the trees within the forest. So let's grab our line tool and just create a couple of horizontal lines where we like the trees to be placed out. So maybe one right here. As you go back into space, these lines become closer and closer together. And maybe just one more for good measure. Okay, that should be good. And the next, we're going to be drawing a line from this point to the perspective point. And what this is going to do, it's going to intersect all those horizontal lines. And for each intersection, we're going to draw a vertical line leading up to this line right here. And what that's going to do is going to tell us the height for each of the trees that's going back into perspective. So everything will look good. Okay, so now that we have the height for each of our horizontal lines and for the placements of the trees, the next step is going to be to coloring in these trees and multiplying them to create the forest. And the colors I'll be using are the same ones I used for the main tree, which will be the complementary colors, the red-orange and the blue-green. Okay, let's get started. And here's our forest. As you'll see, each section of the forest is on a different layer. That way it's much more easier for me to manage. So basically what I did is I took the 3 trees we designed, multiplied them, transformed them a bit, and spread them throughout to create the forest we have here. I also turned each section of the forest into a graphic symbol. And if we go up here, what the graphic symbol allows me to do is give each section a color effect. And the color effect I'll be giving each one is a tint of gray. Because in perspective, as things tend to recede from us, they tend to lose color saturation. And what this is going to do is create more depth in the forest. Okay, here we go. And there's our forest, you guys. We're finally done with it. Let me zoom out so I can kind of show you what I did here. Okay, so after I finished tinting each section of the trees with gray, I went ahead and created the sky using this blue-gray and turned it into a much duller grayish color to create the sky. And for the ground, I used a gradient using these 2 colors that I created using the red-orange. And here's our scene. Now we're not quite done with this yet. We still have a lot of work to do before we can call it a creepy forest. In the next video, we're going to be adding some fog and adding some texture to this ground, such as rocks and dirt, to make it all nice and creepy. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.